Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Baker. I'm the Fire and Life Safety Educator with Central York Fire Services. Today we're going to have a discussion about emergency preparedness. With me today I have someone from our department who knows a lot about that topic. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm Claude Duval, and I'm the Assistant Deputy Chief for Central York Fire Services. And part of what I do in my role is I oversee emergency management and emergency preparedness. What emergency management is management of being able to prepare for and manage emergencies that are of long duration, affect a lot of people. Think of like tornadoes and things like that. And we're going to go through a list soon of things in our area. But emergencies that have an impact on people's life, people's health, and possibly even the economy of the town. And so because those things are so complex, it is important to prepare for those. So the importance of emergency management and emergency preparedness.
Okay. So with that, the general scope of what we're going to talk about today is a slogan that we like to use, which is plan, prepare, and be aware when it comes to emergencies or disasters.
Pretty catchy. Plan, prepare, be aware.
Good to easy to remember and good to follow when we are getting ready for stuff like this. So, Chief, would you like to start us off in our planning stage, talking about the emergencies that we might experience in the area that we live in York region?
Yes, so municipalities get together every year with the region and identify things that are likely to come as a potential disaster or emergency. So things that we look at in York region are severe weather events, so severe winter storms, ice storms. We also look at power outages that would affect a large percentage of people. We're also talking about infection diseases, something that we're very well versed with right now and very current, as well as extreme heat is also something we're looking at, and tornadoes as well are near the top of our list of hazards for the region.
Okay, so yeah, and that's really important to know when we're preparing ahead of time. We want to know what it is that we're preparing for, right? What we can expect in our area. So leading into that, when we are in that planning stage, what should we be focusing on?
Yes. So Jen, you promote in fire safety, you promote making a plan, an escape plan. We promote the same thing in emergency management. Try to have a plan for you and your family. And who do we plan for? You plan for you, you plan for your family. You also plan for people that depend on you. So you might have someone that doesn't necessarily live with you but might require your help in an emergency. So plan for those people. Plan for your pets. They're a member of our family. You need to plan for them as well. Part of your plan should be, where do we go? If I have to leave my house in the case of an emergency or a disaster, where do we go? So try to have a few different places you can go to, places in different geographical areas, so that maybe those places are not affected by the same problem that is affecting you.
Far enough away from that space.
That's right. How to secure your house, put that in your plan. A lot of people, you'd be surprised that some people would know how to shut the water off to their house. So know how to secure your house if you're going to leave. So that is all part of your plan.
Very, very good points. That's fantastic. So we have an idea of where we're going to go, of who we need to look after, and we're thinking about our house in different locations now. What would be the next step in our preparing process?
Yeah, so as you want to get ready, the Government of Ontario, the Government of Canada is asking you to be ready to look after yourself and look after your family for up to 72 hours. And that is because emergency services that are now dealing with this situation that is happening might be overwhelmed. There's a huge amount of call and there's a lot of people to go help, and it might take a while to get to you. So it is important that you are prepared to look after you and your family for up to 72 hours. When we say look after you and your family, think about the basic needs of life. You need to have shelter, you have to be able to stay warm, you have to be fed. And if you have kids, trust me, you need to keep them busy. So you can even think of those things in your kit. So when we think about a kit like this, when we talk about shelter, maybe something as simple as a very temporary tent or a tarp with ropes that you can build shelter with, and maybe in a warm summer day, that will be sufficient in the meantime. Being able to cook, So basically, there are little devices like this which will allow you to, heat up a can of soup without having big flame and producing a lot of carbon monoxide. In Ice Storm 98, we saw people bring their barbecues inside or in their garage. You do not want to create a secondary problem like a fire or carbon monoxide poisoning as you are trying to feed your family. That's part of your planning ahead. Hopefully no one gets hurt, but maybe someone gets minor injuries that we need to look after. So a first aid kit is a good thing to have to look after those minor injuries. Some food. Look at this supply of water here. This is 72 hours worth of water for 2 adults in such a compact format. So this is available, but I mean, you can also depend on your typical flats of water bottles, having something to drink, and as well as clothes. It's important. Pack some clothes for the little ones. Pack your clothes for yourself. If you get wet, you need to have something to change into. So putting a few items of clothing in your kit is a good idea.
And protecting them too, right? We've got them protected in case we had our kit in an area where we had a flood. All the things have been thought of. You have something else over there that is a couple of items in one.
Couple of items in one.
What you got there? Yeah.
That's my fancy dandy flashlight. So this flashlight has been in my kit for probably 5 or 6 years, and yet if I turn it on, it turns on. So, and the reason why it does that is because it does not depend on, I don't need to plug it in, but also it doesn't even have batteries with the little crank. So you might hear people refer to as a crank flashlight or crank radio. And as I crank it, it produces enough power to operate it when I need it. And also it allows me, now that we have this emergency and we don't have power and I might not have a radio in the house, it has a built-in radio so that I can tune in and listen to instructions on what I should do next, and instructions that local government is asking us to do.
Very helpful thing to have in there. Absolutely. What else do we have on here that you'd like to recommend people get?
Well, keeping the kids busy. We talked about that a little bit. So some books and keeping the kids busy. I mean, nowadays, they're going to need their PS4 or the PlayStation. Unfortunately, we can't have that with us. But activity books to keep them busy, little games, and it keeps their mind off the situation and your mind off the situation as well. If you can kind of say, okay, you know what, we're going to shelter over here and we're going to go through this together. And Jen, I'll leave that to you to talk about the other end of the table there.
So he's referring to the dog items. I have a dog at home, and I'm sure a lot of people watching have animals at home. We always want to think about our animals as well with any emergency procedures, fires, planning ahead for emergency disasters, everything. So my dog in particular has a lot of needs. He's got a lot of allergies, a lot of things that come up spur of the moment, and I'm always prepared. So these little things like a mini first aid kit that I made with a Tupperware bin, stuff like this, I'm bringing with me everywhere that I bring him if we're going somewhere else. So having an extra in this kit or somewhere very close to that kit where you can grab it and go is going to help give you that peace of mind so that you know that everybody's covered, right? We're making sure that we have food for them as well, just like us. And remember, with all of these things that we see on the table, nearly everything has an expiry date. So a good rule of thumb would be checking your kit at least once a year, maybe having a checklist nearby it, having little dates that you can check off, whatever works best for you. But yeah, altogether we have a lot of great items here. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think when you check your kit and the expiry dates and everything, what a great opportunity as well to maybe have a little bit of a drill. It's nice to have a plan, but practice your plan. And you promote that in fire safety. You have your escape plan, and then you have your fire drills. Children do it in school all the time. And so in order to be prepared, have a plan, have a kit, and practice your plan.
Yeah, it's only useful if you are actually implementing it. You're practicing that. Fantastic. So after we finish preparing, we've got our kit together. what would be any next steps that you might recommend? After we've practiced, we've considered the people that we're looking after. Is there anything else that you might recommend to them for tips?
Well, basically, at this point, I think we have to think about what happens during an emergency.
Right.
So during your emergency, you prepared for it. That's great. Congratulations. You did a great job. The emergency is now here. So you have a plan and you know how to carry the plan. So let's follow our plan. Let's grab our kit, right? Make sure we are safe before we try to help people around us. Make sure we are safe. Make sure we are looked after. And then follow the instructions. Tune in your little fancy radio, right? So follow media, follow social media, trusted social media, and instructions will come from different levels of government that way, possibly, and then you will be directed on what to do next. I want you to realize that maybe the safest place for you to be is in your own home. You might think that is the last place you want to be at right now, but it might be the safest place for you to be. And you might be directed to shelter in place, which means stay where you are and stay safe where you are. And we'll give you instructions next, or someone is coming for you.
Awesome, very good. So, and after we've got all these things in place, we've discussed a lot of fantastic ways to get us ready. A lot of information in this video for you. But everything can also be found on multiple websites that we're going to give to you in a moment. But we also have this fantastic document. So if you live in the region of York, I'm sure that you've seen these or past versions. This is the most up-to-date. And in these emergency preparedness guides that are made just for us in the region, all the residents here, it's all current information about emergencies that we might experience. And that includes tips on preparing for people in the home who may require additional assistance. Seniors, people who require mobility assistance, all sorts of stuff like that. We've also got example checklists of what you can include in your 72-hour kit, how to make your escape plan for fire, but also for something like this as well, and a lot of non-emergency phone numbers for whichever area you live in the region. Further to that, we'll give you the link to the york.ca site, where there's also an electronic version. You can visit any fire station to pick up one as well. And Deputy Duval, you had another website as well?
Yes, the Government of Canada has a very, very good resource when it comes to emergency preparedness. And you can go to getprepared, in one word, .gc.ca. Getprepared.gc.ca. Both those resources, the regional and the federal resource, gold mine of information, well put together, easy to follow, and you have everything you need for information for before, during, and after the emergency.
Perfect. So, and as always, we'd love for you to contact us. If you're a resident of Newmarket or Aurora and you have any questions about this video, you can leave us a comment, but we prefer that you call us. Please give us a call. Our phone number will be in the description as well, or you can find it on our website, which is cyfs.ca. Thanks so much for watching, and stay safe.
Thank you, and be safe.